joining me for another cup of liberty and video on authoritarianism. So in the last video we talked about this kind of paradox at the core of the social justice warrior left, if I can call them that, which is that many of them are very quick to accuse you of doing violence against them and invalidating them or denying their humanity or their identity. And I was making the critical point that in so doing, they're the ones who are denying their own humanity. Why? Because if I say that your speech against me can be violent, then I am denying what makes me human, which is my ability to decide how I am going to be affected by what is around me, to choose my own experiences and responses. And obviously sometimes that's harder than at other times, but it is the core of what makes us human. It is why parents say to their children, from the moment those children are interacting with other children, sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. Because it is in the nature, the most fundamental nature of humanity, that even 3-year-old kids can understand that what is physical and what is spoken, what is thought, are different things. And we get to react to them differently. Okay. So I want to kind of encapsulate that with this sentence, really. If you can't control your emotion, then the only thing left to do is to control other people's behavior. Those folks who deny their own ability to control their emotions, to make emotional choices, to govern their own responses, those people who deny their ability to do that have nothing left to protect their happiness than to control everybody around them in such a way that they only do things that won't hurt me. And that makes them very dangerous. And that makes them authoritarians. Another way of looking at it is the extent to which I am confident in myself. I know who I am. I am, you might say, if you don't mind this vocabulary, spiritually evolved. The extent to which that is the case is the extent to which I have no gain from being authoritarian. I have no need to coerce you, to make you comply, to make you behave around me in a way that suits me. Because I know that I can choose how I respond to whatever you're going to do and say and believe. And I even get to walk away. But what I certainly don't get to do is condescend to you morally and eliminate your rights, to prevent you from expressing who you are, to enable me to not be fully who I am as a human being, to protect me from having to be a full human being. So there's the core paradox, right? I'm going to accuse you of invalidating me in the same sentence as I'm going to invalidate myself and deny my own humanity. And, you know, a classic example of this is this thing going on with gender pronouns. Now, of course you should be polite to people, you should be kind to people. And if people identify in a certain way and they identify as a woman and they want to be treated as such, then it is a courtesy to do so, regardless of their history, of the circumstances of their birth. That's fair enough. But what isn't fair enough is for me to make you lie, right? For me to actually force you to say something you don't believe. In New York now, there are 31 gender pronouns recognized by law. And if you as an employee do not use the one requested, right, then you can be fined. And so can your employer. And of course, what happens if you don't pay the fine? We will lock you up. In other words, we are now creating language, forcing people to say it, to convey, to promote a certain view of the world and we're going to use force against you if you don't comply. I started this series of videos with mention of George Orwell. George Orwell actually discussed that exact situation in his book 1984. He called it newspeak, where you had a collectivist authoritarian regime creating words and forcing people to speak them to force their view of the world on other folks. It's kind of scary, right? 1984, right there in New York. All right, we'll be back soon for another video. Thanks for being with me.